we are still masters of our fate. We are still captains of our souls. Winston Churchill. In a constantly changing world, where storms of failure, loss, and adversity can strike unexpectedly, people often tend to think of themselves as mere tiny leaves swept away by the current of fate. But the deepest truth is completely different. Circumstances may shake our lives, but they cannot strip away our right to choose how we respond to them. Every human being is born like a boat, drifting on the vast ocean of life. There are days when the sea is calm, the gentle sunlight shines down, and every journey becomes easy. But there are also times when the sky turns dark, wild waves roar, and the boat seems about to be swallowed. The difference between a defeated person and a resilient, mature person is not whether they encounter storms, but whether they have the courage and resolve to hold the rudder firmly. A skilled captain cannot order the storm to stop, but he can adjust the sails, change course, and persistently steer his boat to the desired shore. The greatest suffering often does not stem from external events, but from the sense of helplessness when we believe we no longer have control over our lives, when we blame fate, circumstances, or others for our failures. We unwittingly hand the key to our freedom over to factors we cannot control. But when we accept that we still have the choice of our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, a powerful energy is awakened from within. That is the exact moment a person transforms from a victim of circumstance into a creator of their future. Mastering destiny does not mean we can control everything. No one can stop time from passing, prevent criticism, halt change, or avoid falling. Life is not a path strewn with roses, but a vast forest with gravel-strewn paths, unexpected turns, and dark places that make us doubt ourselves. Yet, in that very darkness, the lamp of will has the opportunity to shine its brightest. True strength lies not in how gently life treats us, but in how we rise after being tested by life. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for a perfect day to start taking action. They wait for better circumstances, help from others, or favorable conditions to appear. But those who make a difference understand that life's compass is not in the hands of others. Every small decision today is like a gentle touch on the rudder, and over time, those minor adjustments can steer the boat to entirely different seas. Every human soul is a mysterious ocean containing courage, perseverance, and undiscovered potential. Many live their entire lives without realizing the treasure sleeping within them because they are too busy focusing on external limits. But when a person dares to face their fears, accepts failures as lessons, and keeps moving forward, they are asserting mastery over their own soul day by day. No matter how many mistakes the past held, or how many difficulties await in the present, we still possess something no one can take away: the right to choose to move forward. Fate is not a sentence written in stone, but rather a book waiting for its next pages to be written by our own hands. Hold firmly to the rudder of life. Be the brave captain of your soul. For when we master ourselves, we also begin to master the direction of our destiny. Idleness is only the refuge of weak minds and the holiday of fools. Philip Dormer Stanhope. Laziness does not always manifest as lying still and doing nothing. Sometimes it hides behind clever excuses, plans drawn up but never executed, and beautiful dreams that exist only in the imagination. Every human being is born with a fertile plot of land called potential. Within that soil are seeds of talent, wisdom, courage, and extraordinary abilities yet to be awakened. But no matter how precious the seeds are, they will not sprout if the gardener merely sits and waits for a miracle. Laziness is like weeds, silently growing in the garden of the soul, draining the nutrients of the will day by day, blocking the light of aspiration, and causing the finest abilities to wither. People often turn to laziness as a cozy blanket to cover their fears. We fear failure, fear judgment, and fear stepping out of our comfort zone. So we sometimes choose to stand still and convince ourselves that tomorrow we will start. Yet that tomorrow can stretch into months, years, or even an entire lifetime. The greatest regret is not that we failed after trying, but that we never gave ourselves the chance to see how far we could go. A strong soul is not one that never gets tired. Humans need rest, silent moments to heal and regenerate energy. But rest is a pause to prepare for a longer journey, whereas laziness is pitching a tent in the middle of the road and deciding never to take another step. Wise people use rest as a tool to grow stronger. Those ruled by laziness turn time into a silent thief that steals youth, opportunities, and unfulfilled dreams. Life operates like a river that never stops flowing. Yesterday's water will never return, and missed opportunities rarely stand still waiting for us. Diligent people may go slow, may fall, and may have to start over many times, but each of their steps leaves a mark on the path of growth. Conversely, those who always choose immediate ease are like a boat permanently anchored in port, out of fear of rough seas, forgetting that a boat's purpose is not to lie still, but to explore vast oceans. The most dangerous ignorance is not a lack of knowledge, but an attitude of refusing to learn and unwilling to change. A person may not know much today, but with curiosity and effort, tomorrow they can become more knowledgeable. On the contrary, those immersed in laziness often lock the door to their own development. They give up training their minds, forego opportunities to hone skills, and gradually become prisoners of limits they created themselves. The greatest enemy of success is not always adversity or bad luck, but often the stagnation within the soul. Life does not require us to run fast, be the best, or achieve everything overnight. What life expects from us is simply to move forward, even if it is just by one small step each day. Defeat laziness with action, replace procrastination with discipline, and turn each passing day into a brick building the person we wish to become. Time will always continue to slip away. The vital question is not how much time you have had, but what you have done with the time you were given. Those who master diligence will master growth, and those who master themselves will never let their dreams sleep in the shadow of laziness. You don't learn much when you're the one doing the talking. George Clooney. In life, many always wish to express their views, prove their knowledge, and defend their opinions. They talk a lot, but forget that a full cup cannot hold any more water. A mind echoing only with its own voice is like a closed room where old ideas constantly bounce back without a single breath of fresh air. People often suffer from the illusion that the more they talk, the more wisdom they show. But in reality, the truly wise understand the power of silence and the ability to listen. A great tree does not grow merely by displaying its existing leaves and branches, but because its roots continuously draw nutrients from deep within the earth. The human mind is the same. To develop, it must absorb different thoughts, experiences, and perspectives from the surrounding world. Preferring only to hear oneself talk often stems from a desire for validation or a fear of facing opposing viewpoints. When we attach ourselves too closely to what we believe, we easily construct an invisible wall around our thinking. That wall provides a sense of security, but it also blocks the light of knowledge from entering. Someone who always assumes they know everything has closed the door to growth. Listening does not mean accepting everything others say or abandoning your own convictions. Listening is the courage to step away from the mirror, reflecting yourself, and see the world through the eyes of others. Every person we meet is a living book containing their own chapters. Some lessons are written with success, some pages are soaked in failure, and some lines are carved with tears, perseverance, and experiences that school can never teach. A good listener is like an explorer, constantly discovering new lands in the world of knowledge. They understand that a conversation is not a competition to see who talks more, but a bridge connecting different minds. Sometimes, just a simple story from a stranger can change how we view life, helping us avoid mistakes others have made or opening up opportunities we never thought of. Those who only love their own voice will gradually become prisoners in the cage of their ego. They are like someone standing before an old map, insisting it is the entire world, while countless undiscovered oceans lie out there. Intellectual arrogance is a dangerous trap because it causes people to stop asking questions, stop being curious, and stop progressing. On the journey of growth, there is a beautiful paradox. The more we learn, the more we realize how little we know. It is this awareness of our own limits that creates the doorway to true wisdom. Strong people are not those who always have answers to everything, but those brave enough to admit they still have much to learn. Speak when your words have value, but listen with an open mind. Let curiosity defeat the ego, and let understanding replace the desire to compete. Every encounter and conversation can become a classroom if we know when to speak and when to remain silent to absorb. For ears are not just tools to hear sound, but doors for wisdom to enter the soul. Knowledge does not grow in prolonged monologue, but is nurtured in sincere dialogue. When we listen to others, we not only learn more about the world, but also gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. The game has its ups and downs, but you can never lose focus of your individual goals, and you can't let yourself be beaten because of lack of effort. Michael Jordan. The long journey of life, where every human being is a player trying to conquer their own heights. On this path, no one can remain on the peak of victory forever, nor can anyone avoid falling, losing direction, or facing phases where all effort seems fruitless. Life is like an ever-changing ocean. There are days when the water is calm, the wind is favorable, and we feel energetic, confident, and easily move forward. But there are also times when large waves rise, the sky darkens, and headwinds toss our boat around. Those difficult moments are the true test of the will. An average person only maintains determination when everything runs smoothly, end quote. But a strong soul continues to steer their boat, even when their hands are weary, and only thick fog lies ahead. The most dangerous thing is not failure, for failure is an indispensable part of growth. Each failure is like a stern teacher, forcing us to look at ourselves, correct mistakes, and discover abilities we never realized we had in easy times. What is more terrifying than failure is surrendering before fully exploring our capabilities. When someone gives up out of fear, boredom, or laziness, they are not defeated by circumstances. They are defeated by the surrender within their own soul. Personal goals are like a lighthouse in the night sea. Waves may knock the ship off course, and storms may slow down the journey, but a wise captain never forgets the light they are heading toward. In life, there will be times when others doubt your abilities, and times when the results do not reflect the sweat you poured out. Yet, if you keep taking one step and then another, you are proving that circumstances do not dictate your fate. People often get caught up in the emotions of temporary setbacks. An unproductive day can make us feel useless. A single failure can make us believe we lack capability. But those are just small moments in a much larger picture. A lost game does not decide an athlete's entire career, just as a sad chapter cannot represent the whole book of life. Successful people understand that emotions are merely clouds drifting across the sky of the mind. They do not let a passing rain make them forget. The sun still exists behind it. Effort is the most honest commitment we make to ourselves. Results are sometimes influenced by many factors beyond our control. Circumstances, timing, opportunities, or unexpected events. But work attitude, preparation, and determination are always within our power of choice. A person may lose a competition, but if they gave it their all, they maintain their dignity and continue on stronger. Conversely, a victory achieved by luck but lacking training is like a castle built on sand, beautiful but fragile before the first wave. Great figures in history are not those who never fell, but those who possessed the ability to rise more times than life knocked them down. They understood that perseverance is not a heroic act occurring in a single moment, but thousands of tiny decisions repeated daily. Waking up when you do not want to, studying when you are tired, practicing when no one is watching, and moving forward even when success is far away. When life enters phases of ups and downs, remember that you cannot control the cards you are dealt, but you always have the right to choose how to play the hand. Do not let bad days make you give up on grand dreams. Do not let temporary failures convince you that the journey is over. Hold tightly to your goal, like a climber clutching their safety rope on a steep cliff. For each small step taken with full effort brings you closer to the strongest version of yourself. The greatest victory in life is not defeating others, but conquering weakness, procrastination, and the voice wishing to give up within yourself. For when you can hold your head high and say, "I did my best, I did not surrender," then, no matter the outcome, you are a winner in the game called life. The best prize that life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. Theodore Roosevelt. Many spend their entire lives searching for rewards in the form of money, fame, or recognition from others, but those external achievements are like fireworks in the night sky, beautiful and captivating, but quickly fading away. The most lasting reward is born from the feeling that every day we wake up, there is a reason to try, a mission to pursue, and a value to contribute to the world. Humans were not created merely to exist in endless leisure. A river that stops flowing gradually becomes stagnant. A sword that is not sharpened loses its edge, and a soul without a goal slowly loses its vitality. It is trials, responsibilities, and work-demanding effort that forge character, awaken hidden potential, and help humans discover the limits they can transcend. People often think happiness lies in the final destination, when there is enough money, when desired status is reached, or when all goals are met, then life becomes fulfilled. However, one of life's greatest paradoxes is that the deepest joy often appears in the struggle itself. It is the tired yet satisfied feeling after a day of working with all your heart, the pride when looking back at obstacles overcome, and the growth built bit by bit through sweat that no one saw. A worthwhile job does not have to be one that brings fame or power. The value of a job lies not in how greatly the world praises it, but in the meaning it brings to one's own life and those around them. The teacher who plants seeds of knowledge in students' minds, the farmer who patiently tends to each sprout to feed the community, the artist who spends thousands of hours creating work that touches human hearts. They are all doing noble work because they leave a positive mark that goes beyond self-interest. In reality, difficulty in work is not a sign that we are on the wrong track. Just as a diamond must endure immense pressure deep underground to become brilliant, humans need challenges to develop their inner strength. Weary workdays, failures, and moments of doubting our own abilities are the silent furnace transforming raw potential into a mature and resilient version of ourselves. Those who find no meaning in labor often view work as a burden to drag through each day. Each morning feels like a heavy door they are forced to open, and time becomes a slow clock counting down to when they can rest. But for those who find value in what they do, work becomes a journey of discovery. Despite weariness, pressure, and times they wish to quit, they understand that each challenge is a brick building their career, character, and legacy. Working hard does not mean trading away your entire life to become a slave to work. A tree that wishes to grow strong needs not only sunlight, but also water and time to rest. Humans are the same. True dedication must go hand in hand with balance, taking care of health, relationships, and spiritual life. Meaningful labor is when we use our talent and time with purpose, rather than draining ourselves in an endless race. The greatest gift life bestows on everyone is not just the opportunity to succeed, but the chance to strive for something worthy. When we do work that moves our hearts, develops our minds, and creates value for others, then every hour of labor becomes a reward in itself. Money may bring comfort, and fame may bring admiration, but the feeling of being useful and contributing with all your ability is the deepest wealth. When looking back at the path traveled, what makes people proud is not just what they possessed, but what they built, the people they helped, and the positive marks they left behind. A life worth living is not one free of sweat and toil, but one where every drop of sweat falls for a noble purpose. And within that process of dedicated labor, people find the most precious prize, the meaning of their own existence. We must use time as a tool, not as a couch. Money can be lost and made again. Material things can wear out and be replaced, but time is a river that only flows forward and never runs backward. Every passing moment is like a grain of sand falling from life's hourglass. Once fallen, no power can place it back at the top. The image of time as a tool evokes the mindset of a master craftsman holding tools to create a masterpiece. A hammer in the builder's hand can build a sturdy house. A brush in the painter's hand can create an emotional painting, and time in the hands of a purposeful person can build knowledge, hone skills, nurture relationships, and turn seemingly distant dreams into reality. The value of time lies not in how much we possess, for everyone is granted 24 hours a day, but in how we use each moment to create something. Viewing time as a couch, people easily fall into a state of passivity and procrastination. The couch symbolizes excessive comfort, a waiting mentality, and the habit of self-soothing with phrases like, "I will start tomorrow. When conditions are better, I will try." Or, "There is still plenty of time, but tomorrow is a land of illusions," always receding as we draw near. So many dreams do not die from lack of talent, opportunity, or luck, but wither away in the quiet room of procrastination. People are often drawn to instant gratification. Our brain prefers comfort and quick rewards over achievements that require months or years of persistence to build. Therefore, using time wisely requires self-control and discipline. Discipline is the ability to choose what has long-term value instead of chasing what feels easiest in the present. Successful people are not those always possessing strong daily motivation, but those who continue taking action even when inspiration has temporarily vanished. Life is like a garden, and time is the plot of land we are given each day. If we sow seeds of learning, persistence, and meaningful actions, over the years, that garden will bloom with the fruits of wisdom and achievement. But if we leave that land to laziness and apathy, weeds of regret will silently sprout and take over spaces where good things should have grown. The value of time is felt most once it has slipped from our hands. A young person often thinks they have endless opportunities ahead, making it easy to waste precious days. An elder looking back may not regret past failures, for failure is proof of having tried. What haunts people most are the things they could have done but did not, the dreams they delayed until there was no longer time to start. This does not mean turning life into an unceasing race where every moment must be filled with work. A good tool must be used intelligently, and time spent on rest, reflection, loving family, or caring for the soul is also a deeply meaningful investment. The difference lies in resting consciously to regenerate strength, rather than surrendering to aimless waste. A great craftsman does not let his valuable tools gather dust in a corner of the workshop. He uses them daily to create, repair, and build valuable things. Life also hands us an invaluable tool called time. Each morning we wake up, we receive a new batch of raw material to continue writing our life story. Do not lie long on the couch of procrastination, waiting for a perfect moment to appear. There is no better day than today to learn a new skill, pursue a new goal, correct an old mistake, or offer kindness. Turn time into the key that opens the doors of growth, into the pen that writes your legacy. For in the end, a person's life is measured not by the years they lived, but by the value they created in the time they were granted. Whatever your life's work is, do it well. A person should do their job so well that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better. Martin Luther King Jr. Many often judge the value of a job based on fame, power, or the money it brings. They think only those on big stages, running giant businesses, or creating great inventions are doing something to be proud of. But in reality, the world is built on millions of quiet jobs done with seriousness and responsibility. A street sweeper keeping the city clean, a carpenter making sturdy furniture, a farmer tending each seed to feed many. Every job holds its own meaning if the person doing it pours their heart and pride into it. Doing excellent work does not mean being so perfect that you never make mistakes. Absolute perfection is a mountain without a peak that humans continuously climb. What matters is the attitude of constant improvement, refusing half-heartedness, and always asking, "Can I do better than yesterday?" An artisan spends decades honing a skill, not because they are forced to, but because they understand that every tiny detail reflects the creator's soul. The quality of work is also the mirror reflecting inner character. Someone who used to doing a sloppy job in small things will easily carry that carelessness into major decisions. Conversely, those who practice precision in every minor action, gradually build a disciplined mind, a patient heart, and a higher standard of living. Greatness rarely appears in flashy moments. It is usually forged from ordinary actions repeated with extraordinary dedication. A bricklayer lays each brick for a structure he knows he may never see completed. Yet, he still chooses to align every brick perfectly and mix each layer of mortar firmly because he understands that sloppiness can be hidden from others' eyes, but not from his own conscience. Our work is like an invisible signature we leave on the world. Every product, action, and contribution bears the mark of our attitude toward life. When someone does something with all their talent, persistence, and love, the results they produce can transcend the limits of time. A beautiful piece of music can still touch hearts after hundreds of years. A grand architectural work still commands the admiration of future generations, and a small act of kindness can create ripples of influence that the doer may never see. However, pursuing excellence does not mean turning oneself into a prisoner of perfectionism. Many fear starting because they think they are not good enough, or fear failure because they want everything to be perfect on the first try. But excellence is not created in a single perfect moment. It is formed through thousands of trials, corrections, and persistent progress. A rough stone cannot become a beautiful statue with a single chisel strike, but requires countless patient carvings by the artist. Every human life is also like a work of art being shaped day by day. We may not control where we are born, what conditions we start with, or how many opportunities are in our hands, but we always have the right to decide our attitude toward the task at hand. A person can do a small job with a great soul, while another can hold a grand position, yet leave only mediocre marks. No matter who you are, what position you hold, or what path you pursue, do your work with all your ability, integrity, and pride. Do not work merely to get through a day, a week, or a lifetime. Work as though every action of yours tells a story of who you are. Pour into every task the focus of an artist, the persistence of a warrior, and the dedication of a builder of the future. What makes a person immortal is not how long they lived, but the quality of the marks they left behind after they are gone. When you pour your entire heart into doing a job well, you not only create an excellent result, but also forge the most excellent version of yourself. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Martin Luther King, Jr. On the journey of life, disappointment is something no one can avoid. There are doors we knock on repeatedly that never open. Dreams we pour our hearts into but cannot reach. People we love whom we must leave behind. And seemingly perfect plans that vanish in the face of unexpected events. Disappointment is a natural part of life, like rains that are indispensable to the 4 seasons of a year. But the wonder of human beings lies in the fact that we are not born to stand forever under the rain, weeping for lost sunny days. The disappointments life presents are only finite. They have a beginning and will have an end. A failure may last a few days. A loss may ache for years, but no night is long enough to last forever. Conversely, hope is an infinite source of energy existing in the depths of the soul, a small flame capable of illuminating a long, dark path. People often make a common mistake, turning a single, sorrowful moment into a sentence for their entire future. A failed exam makes us think we are not smart enough. Rejection makes us believe we are unworthy of love. A setback in our career makes us think all previous efforts were pointless. We take a tiny dot on the page of life and imagine it is the entire picture. But a sad chapter never has the right to decide the end of the whole book. Life is like a vast forest with countless paths. Sometimes the path we chose is blocked by a giant boulder, a fierce storm, or an unexpected chasm. Despairing people will sit by that obstacle, staring at it day after day, believing the journey is over. But those who still hold hope will find another path, climb over the obstacle, or wait patiently until the sky clears. Hope is not closing one's eyes to deny difficulty. Hope is the ability to open one's eyes and look directly at the darkness while believing that dawn is somewhere on the horizon. Some seeds must lie long beneath the cold soil before they can rise to meet the sun. During that time, looking from the outside, one might think the seed is dead, but deep inside, life is silently preparing for the moment of breakthrough. Humans are the same. Difficult periods, days of not seeing results, and times of being tested by life are not always signs of the end. Sometimes that is precisely the time we are gathering strength to step into a more mature version of ourselves. The difference between a strong soul and one that easily crumbles does not lie in who suffers less. In fact, the most resilient people are often those who have walked through many storms. The difference is that they do not let temporary losses steal their long-term faith. They allow themselves to be sad, allow themselves to rest, allow tears to fall. But after all, they still rise and keep walking. Accepting disappointment is a sign of maturity, for it shows we understand that life is under no obligation to always go according to our wishes. Yet, preserving hope is an expression of courage, for it requires us to believe in good things, even when there is no clear evidence before our eyes. Hope is the bridge between a difficult present and a future holding undiscovered possibilities. Some lose their entire lives over a small setback, like a sailor abandoning his ship just because he encountered a large wave. But there are also those who, from the very ashes of shattered dreams, build things greater than ever before, not because they are luckier, but because they understand a key truth. What happens to us may limit a stage of life, but our attitude will determine the entire direction of our life. When dark days appear, do not try to deny your pain. Accept that some things are lost, some plans fail, and some dreams must change. But after having cried, reflected, and healed, keep an unquenchable flame in your heart, the flame of hope. For as long as people still have hope, they still possess the ability to start over, the chance to change, and the strength to write the most beautiful chapters of their lives. Life is measured not by how often we avoid disappointment, but by how many times we have the courage to rise after disappointment and continue believing in tomorrow. Disappointment is merely a temporary guest passing through the door of the soul, while hope must be the companion that stays for the entire journey. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. Albert Einstein. Many believe that accepting limits is synonymous with surrendering, admitting weakness, and abandoning ambition. But reality is quite the opposite. Only when a person is brave enough to look directly at their own imperfections can they begin the journey of change and growth. Denying the darkness does not make the room brighter. Only when we turn on a lamp do we know which way to walk. Every human being is like an explorer on a journey of self-discovery. Inside us exist high mountains of talent, courage, and aspiration, but also valleys of fear, insecurity, and boundaries yet to be crossed. An ignorant person will try to hide those weaknesses with arrogance or excuses. they build a perfect mask to hide the cracks inside. But that mask cannot make them stronger. It only keeps them standing still in the cage created by their own ego. People are often afraid of facing their limits because it makes them feel small. Admitting that we are not good enough, knowledgeable enough, or disciplined enough can wound our self-esteem. We prefer to believe that failure comes from circumstances, bad luck, or others, rather than admitting that we still have much to learn. But true growth begins the moment we stop looking for excuses and bravely tell ourselves, "This is where I stand, and this is what I need to improve." A wise climber never conquers a peak by pretending the mountain does not exist. He observes the height, assesses the treacherous cliffs, and remains fully aware of his strengths and limitations before taking each step forward. It is this understanding of difficulties that helps him prepare better tools, train his body more, and choose a more suitable path. In life as well, limits are not walls built to imprison us forever, but doors waiting to be opened with perseverance, knowledge, and courage. Strangely, the greatest limits often do not lie in our actual ability, but in our perception of that ability. A person may carry extraordinary talent within, but dare not try out of fear of failure. Another may have wisdom and creativity, but always tells themselves they are not good enough. The strongest bonds are sometimes not made of steel, but created by the negative thoughts we repeat in our minds daily. However, accepting limits does not mean being permanently bound to them. Accepting is recognizing the truth of the present, while overcoming is creating a different future. A person who admits they do not know a new skill will start learning. One who realizes their body is weak will start training. One who understands they are quick-tempered and impatient will start learning to control emotions. The grand changes of life always begin with small honesty toward ourselves. Just as a seed must accept that it lies in the darkness of the earth before it can rise to meet the sun, humans must also accept their current state before they can grow. The seed is not angry because it is not yet a giant tree. It silently absorbs nutrients, persistently breaks the hard outer shell, and moves closer daily to the shape it can become. Human growth is also such a process, not a magical jump overnight, but thousands of small steps taken with patience. One of the clearest signs of wisdom is the ability to say, "I don't know." One of the noblest expressions of strength is daring to admit, "I need to change." Weak people often spend energy defending their perfect image in the eyes of others. Strong people use that energy to improve their actual self. Do not fear the limits you see today. Do not view them as the final sentence on your worth. They are merely starting points on the map of growth. Today, you may be slower than others, less experienced, or make more mistakes, but that does not define you forever. What defines you is the attitude you choose after recognizing those limits. The most beautiful paradox of development is when we stop running from our weaknesses, we begin to have the strength to turn them into strengths. When we are humble enough to accept that we are not perfect, we also open the door to becoming a better version of ourselves. For boundaries are not where the journey ends. Sometimes they are exactly where true growth begins. There are those who look at things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. Robert Kennedy. In life, most people tend to look at established rules, long-existing habits, and boundaries that society views as self-evident. They see a wall and ask, why was this wall built? They analyze the past, search for causes, and try to understand what happened. That is a necessary way of thinking, for understanding reality helps us stand firmly on the ground. However, if we only look down at our feet, we will never see the vast sky waiting to be conquered. The people who create turning points in history always possess a different question. Why not? Where others see a gap between the impossible and the possible, they see a bridge yet to be built. Where others see a closed door, they wonder if they can create a new key. That simple question sparked the flame of inventions, revolutions of thought, and dreams once considered insane. People are often held in invisible prisons built of fear, past experiences of failure, and negative assertions they have heard too many times. We are taught that there are limits that cannot be crossed, paths that should not be taken, and dreams too large for an ordinary person. Over time, many do not need physical walls to be imprisoned, as they have built walls within their own minds. But every great achievement humanity enjoys today once started with an idea someone deemed unrealistic. A ship was once thought unable to cross vast oceans. Humans once believed flying like birds existed only in myths, and transmitting information across thousands of miles in an instant was once beyond imagination. The ordinary things of the present are the bold dreams of the past. A person with great vision still faces difficulties, must accept failure, and must work unceasingly to turn ideas into reality. The wings of imagination must be attached to the feet of action. A seed, carrying the image of a vast forest within, cannot grow without being planted, absorbing water, receiving light, and patiently enduring seasons of storms. The biggest difference between an ordinary person and a pioneer is not that they have less fear, but that they do not let fear decide their future. They understand that absolute safety is often a gilded cage. It provides comfort, but simultaneously strips away the opportunity to discover the extraordinary potential sleeping within. Life is like an unfinished painting. Many only stare at the existing strokes and try to explain why they appeared. But the creator holds the brush and imagines colors never yet placed on that canvas. They do not accept that the present is the final limit of the future. They believe everything existing today can be improved, every problem can have a new solution, and every person can become a better version of themselves. In the journey of self-development, the question, why not, is the flame that burns away self-doubt and ignites courage. It encourages us to learn a skill we once thought we couldn't, start a journey we once feared, or pursue a dream others deemed too distant. So many limits in life are created not by our actual ability, but by our early acceptance that something is impossible. Of course, human progress needs both kinds of questions. Why helps us understand origins, draw lessons from the past, and build a solid foundation. But why not? To helps us tear down old walls, open new paths, and step into lands never before explored. One who only asks the first question becomes an observer of the world. One who dares to ask the second can become a changer of the world. Do not merely look at life through the lens of what currently exists. Do not let old rules, past failures, or doubting voices from the outside decide the limits of your dreams. Keep the curiosity of a child, the boldness of an explorer, and the persistence of a builder of the future. Every revolution in history, every great work, and every positive change in life begins with a soul daring to stand before the unprecedented and whisper a simple yet powerful question: why not?